Could you make the argument that LSU is better off without Bryce Underwood? Now, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and try to convince you that Bryce Underwood isn't a generational talent. It's rare to have a number one quarterback in your class also be the number one recruit in his class as well. I'm also not going to try and tell you that Bryce Underwood decommitting didn't affect the rest of LSU's class, because it did. But the truth is, I think LSU is in a must-win situation in 2025. Brian Kelly went to an SEC title game in his first year, wasted a Heisman season because their defense was just not good enough. And then in the third year, their defense gets a little bit better, the offense gets a little bit worse, and they're just all right, and they finish the year in a disappointing fashion. But one big thing stands out to me that not a lot of people are talking about. I think LSU was getting pushed around in terms of NIL last transfer cycle. And it's already been confirmed months after. Hell, even at the time, Brian Kelly was telling you that we just don't have the NIL structure in place to effectively use this at a consistent basis. That's not to say they don't have NIL, but other teams are better at it than LSU at the time. And then I go back to this at the end of the season, and I think this was a wake-up call for LSU. It's no secret that a lot of money was invested into Bryce Underwood and a lot of other players who ended up going to a bunch of different schools. It's not like that money just disappears and goes to the math department. It gets reallocated to other places. And LSU early into the cycle is third in the country, and they're not going to stop here. Mind you, they were in the 40s last cycle. And on top of that, you get Garrett Nussmeier back, which I don't feel confident that he would have stayed if a guy like Bryce Underwood was coming to the roster. And I guarantee you, going to Clemson in the first week of the season, you feel a lot better with a guy like Garrett Nussmeier than you do a true freshman, no matter how talented they are. Listen, I'll never say losing Bryce Underwood is a good thing, but maybe it's what LSU truly needed to get their stuff together.